at a steady pace. If we go to war, I'ma feel just like a major
They keep speaking on the name like I ain't changed the game. So I had to come through, I had to save the day. We always moving forward and it's at a steady pace. If we go to war, I'ma feel just like a major pain. Like a major pain. Feel just like a major pain. Like a major pain. Feel just like a major pain. I've been through hell and back, I wouldn't change a thing. They tried to hold me down, so I went and spread my wings. Devoted to my craft, cause it's my everything. So if I want it, I'ma get it, that's by any means. We ain't even gotta talk, yeah, just get into it. Started music as a kid, now we started movements. You can't master grind, so tell me who lose it. Cause they keep speaking on the name like I ain't changed the game. So I had to come through, I had to save the day. We always moving forward and it's at a steady pace. If we go to war, I'ma levitate. Nothing is in my way. Knocking down barricades. On a different type of time. Dreams are never late. From the jump, I'm the person you can never break.
Series.
Oh my god.
and proud, I feel like I'm the GOAT. Put some numbers on the board when I didn't have hope. Whatever come my way, I'm with all of the smoke. Mark my words, that's the realest thing that I wrote.
Two of the most lethal submachine gun players in the world. Oh my God! Another multi-kill from Rancor. He's been the untradeable.
Snoopy's still on the back. He's able to find. Oh my God, Snoopy!
It's unheard of. This man is gone. Shotzi's there. It's history in the making.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have made it. Welcome back to the Call of Duty League. A long 6 months off season is over, and we are back for Black Ops 7. I'm your host, Chris Puckett, alongside Anthony Wheeler, better known as Nameless, and Rosalie Parker. We know her as Alley Cat here on the desk. Alley, I want to start here with the off season. What did you learn about our teams, and what were the surprises coming back into the studio?
I learned that they're all different except for one. It was an insane offseason that started immediately after EWC, and I couldn't predict it half of the moves.
Wheeler, I saw you dropping a nuke in our lobby just a day ago, so you have been grinding this game.
Yeah.
What do you look forward to from the pros, though, tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we got some new game modes. Overload has been a lot of fun. The movement, jumping off walls, all that crazy stuff. And then snipers are back. So this game is going to be exciting. The gameplay is going to be fun. And as Ali mentioned, a ton of roster changes. We're in for a good one.
It's a new game, 12 teams, but 11 of them have different teammates. Let's start with the one squad that is going to be kicking off the show. Optic Texas have the 4 world champions taking on XNID and 3 world champions on the Riyadh Falcons. We've got Boston Breach in action against the Carolina Royal Ravens. And Vegas FaZe, FaZe has relocated to Vegas. Rocket Pink will be taking on the LA Thieves. So those are our 3 games tonight. But I want to start our discussion with the squad that is currently at the top of everyone's tier list. Optic Texas was undefeated in our Monster Energy launch weekend all the way to a grand final. They did go to a game 7, but they won that event. They've been a favorite anytime you see them in scrims. And the question is, who is going to lead the team in kills? Because everyone seems to be finding success early in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the way this game's played, you just felt right away this Optic team was going to be sensational.
Yeah.
I mean, the answer they found last year was Mercules. And, you know, a lot of the narratives, and, you know, GOAT talk, and, you know, I've been included in this discussion before, calling Simp the GOAT, you know, talking about these different players who are up there in the all-time legacy. Shotzi's entered that discussion, if not leading that now, right? Because they have just been unbelievable, and him in particular has been great. Kudos to the Optic organization, making some great moves.
I completely agree with you, especially when you think about the trials and tribulations of last year.
Yeah.
I mean, they were cycling world champions on this roster, not just anybody. Skies, Kenny, Pred, and it was a rookie in Mercules. That was their final piece that they needed. They keep him coming into this year, and Shotzi, I haven't seen him any happier.
Is it a 3-dog race in your mind? Crim 6, Simp, and now Shotzi for the GOAT title?
Scump's in that discussion as well. But yeah, Shotzi's entered it without question. I mean, back-to-back world championships, up to 3 if you're Shotzi now as well. This Optic team also poised to make a run again this year. This game is going to be so good for them.
Shout out to Hex over at Optic. He knew exactly what to do after winning the world championship. He gave his young guy Mercules a bonus, a little bit of a raise as well, and made sure his roster was not moving for Black Ops 7. Other GMs could take a page out of his book because everyone else made some moves. I want to start here with the squad that I don't know. Are they better? Are they going to be a championship caliber squad? It's Vegas FaZe, right? So you break up the trio here of Simp, Celium, and Abizi.
Yeah.
And now you've got Simp and Draza still with 2 teammates from Vancouver that went to 5 grand finals last year.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You know, the rest of the league is looking around like, oh, man, I sure am happy that FaZe broke up, right? But you think about from Simp and Draza's perspective, it's like we want to get some guys around us that when we face adversity, when we start to struggle, whatever game mode that may be, whatever event that may be, we can face it and overcome it and learn, right? And you got 04 and Abuza, a ton of grand finals last year, Ali, and they're going to be able to fill those gaps. offense and maybe not necessarily have to be the guy in the front finding all the kills. They can take a back seat. But when they do have to answer the call and get those kills, they will do so.
Ali, I'm going to say it's going to take me a moment to get used to the pick.
It is.
Do you think Vegas is a good fit for FaZe, though? I feel like it's a perfect squad to go to Vegas.
I mean, listen, they were silver surfers, right? Clint said it best, where it was like, you took a team that got a bunch of second place, take another one, mix them together, and maybe you'll find a gold. But for FaZe Vegas, for me, it's kind of looking like they subbed out incredibly similar play styles. You know, maybe they're just hoping the team chemistry is a little bit different. From what I saw from Draza and Abuza from some of the preseason tournaments that we saw, they were disgusting as an AR duo together.
Yeah.
From a FaZe team that were used to having the Tiny Terrors, that used to be the sub presence that teams built their sub duos around. So it's definitely a different dynamic, but I don't think any of us disagree when we say that we don't mind it.
They're set up to allow Simp to fry. This should be a Simp resurgence here, taking over once again. But yeah, looking at this roster, I think there's a ton of potential, Chris.
Players willing to do anything to win. That is exactly what Simp needs on his roster. For me, I'm excited what Draza is going to do alongside Abuza. Who's the power slayer in that dynamic? That is what's going on over in the FaZe camp. But we have plenty of other teams to go through, including Abeezy's new home, LA Thieves. And now you have to think, is this the new powerhouse SMG combo of Paco and Abeezy? How do you get better than Hydra and Abeezy on paper?
Yeah, that's the idea, and I love that you phrased it that way, because when they made this roster and they go out to make the change, it's like, okay, we're going to go grab Abeezy to be the dynamic with Hydra that is just unstoppable everywhere on the map. I will say, though, this roster coming into last year, well, the last version of this LA Thieves, supposed to be that superstar lineup that was going to take home an EWC or a COD champs, and I just think expectations are a killer sometimes, and nobody has more expectations than this roster.
To be honest, I think Abeezy is an upgrade for this team as far as plugging in for Envoy, but we also have to talk about Kenny being added to this roster, right?
Coming home.
And it's difficult for us because obviously it's a good pick. It's just Kenny is a player that has such a high ceiling, but we saw how low his floor could be last year. And I think for him, we can't really phrase it anymore of like, well, champs Kenny. You know, at the end of the year, he always figures it out. We need to have Kenny day one, I think, for this LA Thieves roster.
All right, I want to just squash the narrative that Kenny is totally in charge of being the leader on this team, because at EWC, there was the G2 lineup, and those guys did not change anything from their champs S&D strats. 7 rounds in a row, their opposition told me they ran the exact same strat, so I need to see different level of effort from the LA Thieves camp. I think you're going to get that from Shane. You're going to get that, of course, from Sender. Fantastic coaches behind the scenes. The question is this foursome going to be able to compete with the other super squads?
Yeah, I mean, they should be able to compete with them, right? It's just when they face that adversity, you know, the mental aspect of this team. We've heard, you know, the rumblings from around the community where Abeezy can get down on himself sometimes, or the team, or even the game in general. And then you've seen that from Scrapstream before as well, right? So a superstar sort of lineup, we all have a ton of expectations for them. We're just hoping that Kenny can perform. He is going to be the X factor on this team.
100%.
They were superstar lineups back-to-back years, and Nadeshot was not necessarily happy with what they accomplished in 2024.
There's certainly a world where keeping the team exactly how it was last year could have been the play, could have been the right idea. I don't think it would have been the wrong decision. I just think from my perspective, it's tough when you have like a super team and you fall short of champs in EWC. We just didn't look like the same team. Like, we got off to a hot start. We almost won Major 1, lost Major 2. Major 3 and 4, we won. I mean, that's a pretty good year. But when you don't make a splash at the big dance in EWC there shortly after, it's kind of just like, okay, something might be missing here. Like, truly. I mean, I love Dan Ghosty and I love Envoy. You can believe me if you want. You can call me a liar, but I'm being dead serious. I love those guys, and I thought we had a great team. But after falling short of champs in EWC, bro, it just felt like you had to make a change.
That is America's Nadeshot, and of course his team LA Thieves, but the European Nadeshot, now known as Gotaga, has far eclipsed Nadeshot, and his team, in theory, could be more dangerous than the Thieves this year. You look at the pieces, you've got Envoy, you've got Ghosty, big pieces to build your objective game around, and then you have the slaying power of Sib and Neptune. What's your first thoughts when you look at Paris's squad, Gentlebait?
Yeah, my first thoughts, I mean, coming out of the Nadeshot clip into that roster, It's like all the expectations on Thieves. You look at this team, it doesn't feel like they have any expectation whatsoever.
They've already done better.
It's a star-studded lineup, right? They've been performing in the preseason, and the General Mates roster from last year was very bad. So this team poised to make a run, to be they're in a very good spot.
They are. It's the same situation last year to me, where like the roster looked really good on paper, but the difference is that we got that sneak peek. We were able to see what this roster was able to do. The only thing is Envoy's in a similar situation as Kenny, as I feel like Envoy has to perform very early for this team, considering the dips of what went on last year, for the team to find success consistently.
It would feel like his spot's a little safer than Kenny's, though. Like, just looking from how Kenny performed last year and the change that happened as soon as he was released from the team, it just feels like Envoy in this position, surrounded by these guys, in a safer position.
The French love Envoy. They're already calling him Cap, like Captain America. I'm loving the vibes from the fans. If you are looking to join a bandwagon, this is the biggest one right now, the hottest one in Call of Duty. Shout out to everything they've been putting together for the French fans. For now, though, we got to give a shout out to the only Saudi player in the league. He goes by the name of Xnid, and he survived a roster of 12 rotating players in 2025. Now he finds himself on probably the best team he could ever play with. You've got Selim, Pred, and Kismet, 3 world champions, 3 players who definitely cost a pretty penny to the Riyadh Falcons.
100%. Definitely costs a pretty penny. Their payroll has to be absolutely absurd. And to me, last year, when they went out and they got Pred, I mean, even partially when they got Clayster, it was setting up like, we're going to try to be a big player in this league, and our expectation is to win tournaments. Like, we're not just trying to mosey around, and you see that, right? They went,
they got another tournament, or sorry, other esports.
In other esports, like, they're a big player, and they went and they got Selim. He was like the prize player in the free agency, and they got him right away. And then you get Kismet to help develop a guy like Xnid. So to me, the entire story with Falcons is like, how far can Xnid go?
I agree with that. I agree with, you know, his story is obviously one of the most interesting we've ever had in the COD League, and the way that he's been brought up and developed as a player. He is night and day from when we first were introduced to him. And I get it that we're trying to surround with veterans, surround with rings, surround with people that know how to teach him to play the game. But for me, I look at this and I just don't know about the chemistry, you know, especially when Pred kind of had to take a seat back and develop as a player before he came back into the league. I mean, we know what he's capable of. We've seen his ceiling, but can it mesh with the rest of these players? Can it mesh with a player like Kismet when you are usually running along the sides of players like Shotzzy and Hydra? I just question mark on how the dynamics.
And who runs the second AR? Is that Kismet's job now?
It's going to be Kizzy, man. It's going to be Kizzy.
Big Kizzy transferring from the frontline S&D specialist to now getting the job done on the back.
But remember, Chris, how many times last year did we say Kismet's low-key a little bit better with the AR?
They are so good.
Exactly, right? So I think that it could be a good thing, slow the game down from a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, he can kind of look at that mini-map, see where people need to be. He has to be a focal point of this team when it comes to communication and fixing their issues, which I'm sure they're going to have a boatload of them. They're coming off of a loss to Doug.
I'm told we have a tier list that we need to review. Were you two putting this power rankings together? Let's take a look at this thing. I need to know who is on top of the tiers. This was before the Monster Energy launch event put together by Merc and Study. Thank you, production.
Yeah, put together by Merc and Study. Honestly, it's not too bad coming into it. I think my main thing is the only S-tier team is Optic. I get that we've seen General Mates have a good preseason. I get the roster of the LA Thieves, but Optic coming off of a championship, they've been unbelievable. They only lost 1 series. They're also the only remaining roster from last year. So I think LA Thieves, you got to bump down. And then Boston, I think you bump down.
That ghost icon there in the B, that is officially Gentlemates now. They were under org list for that event. I think after the event, we all agreed they need to be at least A tier because they're challenging Optic for S tier by the end of the year. For now, though, we want to hear some hot takes from the community. And Allie, you have a very special one. You told me before the show.
No.
I'm making you save it for tomorrow so I can properly shred you with graphics and facts. But for now, the community weighed in, and here's what they had to say. Neptune is a top 5 Slayer this year. And Mamba, that guy who broke out at EWC from Challengers, he will be Rookie of the Year. Jalen Suggs knows ball.
Yeah.
He knows ball. He's a very good player, too. Plays a lot of 8s, and he watches. So that's an informed statement right there, and I can't say I disagree with it.
I can't either. It's a hot take, but like in a fire way. Like it's a fire take.
Let's take a look at the next one. What do you got for me, community?
Drum roll.
FaZe to not make finals all year. Anyone? This is from Andrew Campion. You know Enigma. He's a commentator. You saw him at EWC. He's done a lot of work on World Series of Warzone and CDL Challengers.
Definitely a hot and risky take, but I mean, you look at the roster and it's like, again, we talked about it. They're Silver Surfers. Both these, everybody on this roster have made a lot of finals all of last year. So I think at least they got to get one.
Did he say not make or not win?
He said make.
Okay.
So they're going to make a final.
I think they'll make a final.
You think they make one?
I think they'll make a final.
They'll make a final.
Roster's good, man. Solid roster. And Ali just mentioned these guys spent a large portion of last year in the final.
I don't know which one I agree less with. Andrew's comment or this one here that says Snoopy is going to have his year, ladies and gentlemen. Snoopy will make one of the CDL All-Star teams this year. First of all, is this decided by statistics? Is this decided by fan vote? Because I do not see Boston Breach winning any fan votes.
Well, I'm going to give a lot of credit to our fans here. They've been pretty good, honestly. But I'll ask if they
coming in, and this one, Cricket Fan 19, I think we could disagree or agree with you. LA Thieves to not win an event. I currently agree with you. They will not win an event with this current lineup, but I think after Major 2, you will see some shakeups and you will see a championship caliber squad ready to close out the year.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a possibility. I mean, if you were telling me all the juggernaut teams, they'd be the one that I'm like, okay, if they don't perform early, then I would believe that they're on roster watch. But let's throw that out the window. We're just starting, right?
This season hasn't even started. We're sitting at 0-0, but this is where the community thinks we are currently landing with the best ARs. If you're looking for the anchor, maybe even a top slayer, look no further than the men on this screen, and it is so incredible to see a young man in his 4th, 5th event, Mercules, wearing the crown ahead of players like Dashy, Scrap. You even got, Celium's down, in the 4th tier here?
Look, I'm telling you, at the very bottom of this pyramid, all these players should be fighting whoever made this, because Kleenex was an AR for, half a season? And he's already above the likes of Draws.
Yes.
The fact that Draws is at the bottom is also insane to me, especially considering what we saw in the preseason tournaments. I don't know how I feel about.
And what are you moving up? What are you moving down?
Yeah, I'm moving Rencor up. I think Rencor he was a superstar in this league last year.
Who does he move down then? Ghosty, Abuza, or Sib?
I'm probably moving Sib down. Right? But Sib in the preseason so far has been electric. I'm adding an extra player to the pyramid on every level.
We're expanding the pyramid.
Yeah. I'm told we got to stay on schedule. And speaking of it, we've got 3 matches coming your way. It is opening day here on the Call of Duty League for Black Ops 7. We're going to see Optic Texas facing off against Riyadh Falcons. Boston Breach at 4:30 plays against Carolina Royal Ravens. And then, of course, it is Simp, Draza, Abuza, and 04 taking on Scrap and the LA Thieves. That could be the best match of the day. Allie, how many of these go to a Game 5?
All of them. All 3 of them.
They're all going to a Game 5. Lock in, ladies and gentlemen. More CDL on the other side of this break.
Scuff, the official controller of the CDL.
Monster Energy, official energy drink of the CDL.
We're kicking off our Stage 1, Season 1 here with a official kickoff to a fun year of travel. Now, Nameless, we're going to 4 different places, and this time, the European fans are going to get a little sample of what we bring to land.
Yeah, they're in for a treat. We're going to be going to Birmingham. That's going to be awesome. And then also, Major 1 tickets are on sale right now. So headed back to Dallas for our first stop. Obviously, Optic won a World Championship. Crowd's going to be
This is the way to start the year, right? We're coming out with a bang. It's been 6 months since we've been on NA soil. We are are ready for you guys to get loud in person. Get your tickets right now as they are on sale. And if you can't make it out to Texas, don't worry. You've got plenty of time between now and the end of June to get in on the action. We're going international there for our DreamHack events. Make sure you check out what we're doing in Birmingham. And then, of course, when we head to Paris, that could be event of the year.
I'm going to love this little NAEU battle we have going on because we're split right in the middle. We're going to be going to Paris. We're going to be going to Birmingham. So that means Optic Texas, y'all are going to have to give us some serious high bars when it goes to that crowd energy for that #1 event.
And we got some good news if you're a player.
We do.
If you didn't make it to the pro level, if you're a young guy making your move over from Halo, we have a home for you in Call of Duty. We call it Challengers. And some Halo players are already on starting lineups, but I expect people like Renegade to take over this scene if you're not careful. The Huntsmen announcing their squad. So many other teams starting to put together star-studded rosters from other titles, and emerging faces are growing here in the Challengers unit.
And we got one in the league. Everybody knows Legend. If you were familiar with the Halo scene at all, he's going to be over on Surge trying to develop and, just be patient with them. We've seen a ton of Halo players come in and develop, but let's talk about Challengers. We are going to have Challengers at every single event this year. I can't tell you how important that is to the ecosystem of Call of Duty. When I was coming up, you could just buy a team pass, come in, compete, and make a name for yourself. So there has to be a healthy environment.
Even I did that back in the day.
Exactly, Allie. It has to be a healthy environment for these guys, and I think this is going to be the best year of Challengers that we've ever had in the CDL.
I completely agree with you. And it's always exciting, right? Like, I just remember my first couple of years watching COD. The best times and the best moments for me that I remember when Challengers teams, the amateur teams came up and did something versus the big dogs and solidified their spots. And even Mark last year was proving something. So.
4 elite seasons and a Pro-Am at Major 3. It's all going down in Black Ops 7. And, of course, we've got a new game mode in the new title. Let's revisit what will be Game 3 and every best of 5 out with Control, in with Overload. A new objective-based game mode with 2 scoring locations for each team. Now, that objective, it's got 3 pickup spots, but talk to me about it in the big picture. How does this play out compared to something you might have seen in previous Call of Duty?
Yeah, how does this play out? It's super fast pace. There's an EMP, as Chris mentioned, 3 different spawn locations that will alternate. You want to get that EMP. There's 2 zones that you can, download the EMP into to get yourself a point. And you're going to see teams kind of playing quick, but then slow down when they get close to goal and try to set up plays, right? So it's a lot of, like, on your mini-map, setting up plays, pitching at the same time, and then knowing when you actually have that opportunity to score. It's super fast-paced. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of having to switch between offense and defense very quickly. Like Ann said, the pacing's going to be insane. Think about, capture the flag. Think about uplink. It's very similar to those game modes, and I think it's fun. It's going to be fun to see what kind of strategies the teams try to strive for and where they're going to lean, if they're going to be more offensive, if they're going to be more defensive. I think there's a lot of different ways you can approach this.
Overload will be in every Game 3. You get a chance to see it for the first time today with the new update. You carry a pistol while you have that EMP, and of course, you're going to overtime. We've got some new rules. We'll discuss that later if needed. In the meantime, I want to know, are snipers going to make it in? Because in all the launch events, Nameless, we got our first peek at what the highlights could look like at the end of tonight. Abuza here in our first highlight. Kismet getting involved. All of these players showcasing they got the boomstick.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge portion of the Call of Duty community that just only snipes, right? So it only makes sense that it should have some representation in the pro scene. And then also, it just changes the dynamic in how you play the game, right?
Yeah, it adds another element.
Exactly. It's not always an advantage. It's sometimes a liability. You've seen it plenty of times. If
and with the wall jumps, too?
If he's not finding his kills and he's stuck with a pistol, you're going to be at a disadvantage. So you already see, and this is from, 2 days of gameplay? We've seen so many crazy clips.
And I'll tell you what, nothing is more aggravating than getting killed by a sniper as many times as sometimes these players do. That first clip in that series where Abuza had it out, you could see how frustrated Kismet was getting with that sniper rifle, pulled one out of his ohm and started dominating. So just being able to see the emotions from the players and the kind of way it makes them feel and change their gameplay is just going to be so interesting to watch.
Guys had the best sniper of the tournament, by the way. That was it right there to clutch up a 1v3. We're going to have more clips coming your way and a ton to talk through today, including where they will be sniping. We saw a few raid highlights there. There's going to be returning maps from previous titles as well as new ones. What are you looking forward to, Allie?
Like map-wise, the 3 lanes, it's very traditional, reminiscent of old traditional COD, and the pacing is going to be a lot more punishable, I feel like, when it comes to maps like this, because there's not as many angles and as many doors that you can bust through when you make a mistake. And personally, I love Den. We're looking at Colossus right now, but you'll see that Den, to me, kind of looks like Gridlock from Black Ops 4.
Yeah, I think we're starting in a really good spot here, Chris, Allie. I like a majority of these maps, and we got a bunch of new maps also added in Season 1 yesterday, right? So I think it's going to be ever-changing as the season goes on, but you're seeing a montage here. Den, just a beautiful map. As Allie mentioned, 3 lanes. You can make some plays, though. You can get lost. You're looking at exposure here. A bigger map, also 3 lanes, but there are some obstructions in the middle of the map where if you're an SMG player, you can close that distance. There's not just dominant AR power spots. Now you're looking at the classic raid.
The classic.
It plays way different now, though, because of the wall running and a bunch of different spots. The evolution of the map. See water stairs, you can just fly off the top. Up top bedroom right here, it takes 1 second to get from bottom to top, so traditional power spots aren't as dominant.
6 minutes away from the first matches of the 2025 and 2026 CDL season for Black Ops 7. Lock in, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 3 matches coming your way, starting with Optic Texas taking on the Riyadh Falcons. It's going to be a spicy banger to open things up.
I'm on inner. Watch my under. Inner dead. One on me. Oh my God!
Play from Texas.
Oh no!
That was disgusting.
Oh my God!
That was gross.
That was the coolest play I've ever seen.
Disgusting.
Yo, I just ninja stole one in COD. I just hit a ninja in COD. Bro.
Yeah, and he did that before the season kicked off. Just imagine the highlights that are coming our way. Welcome back, everybody. It's Puckett alongside Nameless and Rosalie, and we're about to jump into the first match. Optic Texas, world champions. On the other side, 12th place last year, Riyadh Falcons. So let's start here with our world champions in Optic Texas. Expectations from the community right now, Allie. Should they go flawless this year? Are they just favorites to start off as the best? How good is this team?
Honestly, from what they showed us in these preseason tournaments, yeah, they should go flawless. They look unbelievable. The consistency is still there. They obviously feel great on this game. And my favorite thing about Shotzzy is he surprises himself with some of the things that he does on the map. Like, how are you shocked you're the one doing it? So for me, I think Optic Texas, we said it earlier, S-tier team, fantastic. And I think for me, I'm just kind of excited to see what they do.
Yeah, I think the problem for the rest of the league is you know, these guys have all the momentum in the world. And on top of that, we're on a new title. And I think everybody would agree that the way this game plays, it should be a lot better for Hook and Dashy individually.
Yes.
And if those guys get back to like their prime form, it is going to be extremely hard to beat them. So as it stands right now, there is a bullseye on their back and everybody is trying to figure them out and take their top spot.
Can you explain that? Why do you think this is better for Dashy and Hook?
Sure. Dashy, the current meta right now is the M15. Any type of hybrid gun where you can play extremely aggressive and win gunfights versus an SMG up close, that is when Dashy's at his best, when he can go streaking. And then you couple that with the movement of Hook.
Yep.
We talk about Shotzi a lot. Hook's got some movement
Hook's
now.
got some crazy movement. He's a little bit more crazy than Shotzi sometimes. You get Hook in the flow state, you can't kill that guy.
On the other side of this fight, we got 60 seconds to break down the Riyadh Falcons. So let's make this fast and furious. Alley Cat, I want to start with you. Celium, highest paid player, I assume, on this team. But who do you think has the highest ceiling? Is it the same guy?
The highest ceiling? I almost want to say Pred. I think this game should fit Pred's game style incredibly well. But I do want to turn the conversation to what I did see. It feels like Kismet's still a bailout player for this team. I don't feel like they have that chemistry yet. So for them, I think just getting these reps in and kind of feeling the pace and the flow of this game outside of scrims is going to be really important for their development.
Yeah, I mean, once again, you know, we talked about a lot last year with the Falcons roster. It's like, will they play the right way? Will the teamwork be there, right?
Yeah.
Like, can they slow it down and get a break when they need to get that break? Maps and modes here, we're gonna get a double dose of Den, some scars, some exposure. We did have a change on exposure. For those of you who haven't been able to get on for season 1, P4 is a little bit different. Bottom ring, they made it a room now, so a bit easier to hold. It's gonna be, I can't wait to see how the pros decide.
They gave us a room?
Yeah, it's a room.
God,
It's not just bottom ring.
The devs are so good this year. I hope we get to our Game 5. Scar has been the highlight for me throughout the early tournaments. It's just the perfect battleground for the new title. We've got predictions coming in here, friends and family, in the chat. Can I get your final thoughts on this matchup, Nameless? Starting with you, players to watch, and where are you going?
Yeah, I mean, players to watch, I'm gonna be watching Exnid. We talked about it, you know, earlier on. Like, he has to have some development. This roster, they bought in. They got some big ticket players. I'm excited for this Riyadh Falcons team to see how far they can go.
But Optic today?
Oh yeah, everybody pick your poison. Optic's
He's going Optic. 3-0?
Yeah, I'm going Optic with a 3-1 victory.
3-1. Okay, Allie.
I know what I said earlier when I said it was all going to be Game 5 today, but I'm definitely going Optic Texas in a 3-0. I think they're going to be unreal.
Optic Texas is going to open off the season the same way they did the Monster Energy launch. We're sitting here in the same set. I think you're going to see a 3-0. They were perfect in the winner's bracket. This should be a layup for them to kick things off. Am I wrong? We just had a new patch. It's time to find out as we send it to the casters to kick off this season. We got Miles Ross and Chance.
Hello, comrades. You all look fantastic. Getting to see knees and ankles now. Woo, Black Ops 7. It's all coming out, brother. But yeah, let's be real. Let's lock in 10% more. Very, very excited to finally get the league underway.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time, and especially the match that we're starting with, right? Optic Gaming, obviously, back-to-back world champs. Everybody's excited for that. And then the Riyadh Falcons, a team that I don't even know necessarily how to describe the expectations, because I think the community is like sort of on like the negative side for the squad, but everyone knows that they have absolutely lethal potential. I just know this is the most excited I've been for a listen in quite some time.
And that's saying a lot because we've had some good ones over the last few years. But yeah, very, very high expectations for the Riyadh Falcons. We'll see how that plays out today. Optic Texas, if you have been living under a rock, the preseason tournaments for one player indeed have been very good. Mercules looking superb. They didn't win necessarily, Case on Shadow and 8. We went late into the night in Dallas there, but Genomates coming out on top of that one. For now, though, to lock back in furiously, friends, into Scar we go. The first match of the 2026 Call of Duty League season, and it is bound to be a banger. A green team throwdown here on Scar. So hot will melt the snow. Chance, early predictions for not just the series ahead, but I suppose for the map.
This to me feels like sort of one of the more like almost standard hardpoint maps in terms of like hill variants. You have your P3, you need to lock it down. You have the very much preferred side that has the high ground type deal. You've got the chaotic P4s. It feels the most sort of normal, even with like the new dynamics getting thrown in the mix. So this to me feels like a map that if you're better on this map, you're just a better team. So I think skill is going to run through.
I like the sound of that. If you're just a better team in general. We're going to see a lot more of that map when we load into it. Of course, a slight technical delay to get us rolling here. Hey guys, get the jitters out early, right? Get them out now rather than later. S&D and Overload, we're going to be playing Den back-to-back. Dens. How are we feeling about overloading them in the year, Chance? We'll talk about it a lot later, but well, we've got the opportunity to run a podcast of our own. How you feeling?
It's been extremely fun so far. I know this is at least my first look at seeing it with the new change of the pistol being the primary weapon you actually pick up the device. So a very different dynamic than what we're accustomed to, but the game mode I think is at least exceeded my expectations for how much fun it's been. And then the map we have from Optic, when you're playing on Den, it's an incredibly rotation heavy map. You can throw a lot of fakes. You have to be very careful about where the new device is going to be spawning and setting up for it early. I think that's why Optic's going to be incredibly happy to play on it. They've had the early lead in the game mode. They got the leg up on everybody else. This is a map where you get a flex off the good. So I think it's going to be a fun time the entire way through. And by God, do they look good.
I am digging it, man. Well, there we go. First look at some of the jerseys our players will be going through the year. And Headband Celium. Oh my word, have we unlocked a new mode? He's evolved. Somebody gave him a candy and he's gone and leveled all the way up. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, take two into our first match of the 2026 CDL season. Optic Texas taking on Riyadh Falcons. Scar Hardpoint.
I just hope that headband is something that can measure like brainwaves. I want to see what type of like calculus this guy's doing in game.
Wow. Is he hooked up to an EKG machine? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Strap in, strap on, lock in. It's P1 we go, right smack bang in the middle of the map, right next to that gigantic Mex for four-legged weapon of war. Speaking of weapons of war, you're looking at one right now. Hook opens up the first kill of the map for the Optic boys. So far, all good. Nice 3 dead there. Looking at time as well.
Yep, and you are nice and comfortable on the time as well. I mean, that is easy treats, everything going smoothly. Dashy gets to be the super soaker, and right now the Riyadh Falcons, I mean, a couple routes being taken maybe to try to go towards new, but right now these white arrows moving a little bit slow, and this is a P1 that has been perfect.
Yeah, and speaking of perfect so far, it's Hook as well. And nearly, wow, a bullet away from absolute perfection. Great time so far for Optic Texas out of our first hard point. Final 10 seconds done. We're going to go into the motel, low left-hand side of the minimap. Well, that large red roofed building for you with the eyeballs.
And I'm trying to keep track of how many Riyadh players actually touched the objective. Kismet at least made it on to contest for a few seconds, but even on the rotation, Optic are going to be there first. Mercury's already reading the spawns, and they're getting all the kills. Yeah, I'm thinking the Death's prediction might have been pretty on point there, Miles.
Not too far off. Young Merc looking to get the Hellstorm as well. A fan favorite and a Black Ops classic. If you watched any of last year's season, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but it's not going to happen. It's all dead. Optic wiped off the board. Riyadh Falcons on time.
They're fighting back. I'm worried about this being a team that can maybe be a little bit scared of going near the actual objective. Hey, once they got it, complete takeover. Now you're sort of being the ones that are pushing the pace. Celium's there to collect too. You're pushing out. You're going to flip the spawns. And Riyadh Falcons, it might have taken them a hill and a half, but they've woken up.
We're very much there. Looking towards new as well. Top side of the map, we go to the crashed plane. Work here from Pred on old, just finding the final few seconds. Through shop now, the rotation through mid. A lot of angles to be worrying about here on Scar, but you've got the Falcons in first. They've won the rotation. Exnid, the man on the screen there, has taken a whole heap of shrapnel, but he's still alive, doing what he can to stay here on time. Pred and Cell join him in the feed, and it's another 3 dead for the time being. Optic on the back foot.
Yeah, Riyadh Falcons, they got the high ground spawns, they got the better power positions. If you ever get the clearance to push up and get that covered, you're gonna be good. You're watching the pinch, Dashy's there, and well, he gives you 2, but it's not quite enough. You still hold on to the time. Riyadh Falcons, they've woken up, they're on point. Preferred spawns treating them oh so sweet. It has been a wonderful P3.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful P3 and a litty one at that. Enough gameplay. Let's go for a listen in.
We are, I think. Should be.
I pushed the ball. I needed.
Watch out. Trying to search on anything. We're missing one?
I have left.
One guy's on me at road.
I think we are.
I don't know. I got time.
MP cut.
I have your help, miss.
No, one shot.
I think one shot.
In shop. He's in shop. First guy accident. We got
shot. Watch out. He went blue.
Might spawn us out.
They probably did.
Yeah, we spawned out. I spawned set.
They're gonna be a couple behind us.
Yeah, he's pushed up set. Pushed up set.
Yo, one shot on time. Exit.
Absolutely.
Exit absolutely.
One's in the back. Back on the overload point. He's going for one wall. I'm behind in the back. Another in the back. Back right. Back right.
Yo, on me, front wall.
Back right on the box.
Front wall dead. Another
back
one
right
on time. On time exit.
Yeah.
Still back right somewhere.
One back left. One top left.
On the stairs.
Go back left.
There's on me in the back. Spawn trapping.
Yeah, Shack, one shot.
One guy's spawn trapping on the left. That's him. Nice.
We'll go left. Blue me probably. Maybe they got time.
I have the right.
Yo, he's laying down front saddle. Excellent.
I'm really tough.
Yeah,
Really tough.
make sure we hold
One is
these
front
new
set.
spawns.
One is front set.
We hold these new spawns. Where are we spawning?
Nice left. I'm hard blocking. I'm top broken. I'm top broken.
Or wood.
One could have spawned out wood.
I'm picking out.
Yeah, let's spawn out. We're good.
Nothing wood. Nothing wood.
Alright, one's at old.
Yeah, I'm staying top green. I have a
I have
trap
right
on
side
you.
wood. I have right side wood. Hellstorm?
I'm gonna go top green.
I'm helping mid. I'm helping mid. Probably gonna hit like
Yeah,
shot.
I'll pick the back one. I'll pick the back in a second.
I'm in shop.
Not a bad listening chance. Slow moving Hellstorm there to help keep the hill clear, and Riyadi Falcons with the lead.
Yeah, now you're trying to run it straight up. I mean, it's literally an uphill battle. Kismet's going to be leading that charge. Definitely has cover looking over top, but not easy when you get there. Easy reads and easy gunfights won by Optic. Exnid, last man standing, but Optic not even a hurry. Collecting on the time. They've got everything under control.
Not a huge amount of time. Here comes the next wave of Falcons players through the mid car. Damaging from Shotzi. Not enough for any kills just yet. We're waiting for a bit more noise here. It's Mercules in the feed. Catching his. Dashy gets another one done. And young Shotzi soaking it away there on time.
Yeah, I'd love to see it as well if you're an Optic fan. Shotzi had a little bit of slow start to this map, but certainly heating things up. And I mean, he's caught right back up to the rest of the lobby. So things looking good there. All things considered, the fact that it was a 60-0 start, I thought we were shaping ourselves up for a blowout, but Falcons did wake up. We got a battle, and now they're the ones in control of P1.
And the blowout we've got going on for the Falcons right now is everyone's great hair. Still trying to take the lead back, and there it is, ladies and germs. Back over to P1. Second set on us. First set was very much a test for both of our squads. A strong start from the Optic boys, but right now Celium on a 4 spree halfway towards his Hellstorm. Can he get him some time out? Nah. Shotzi going to continue to find time and kills. Lovely scoreline for them now. As Anthony Cuevas Castro has pulled himself back from a big old deficit, and he's looking at 13, now 14-13 on a spree. He's come alive.
Yeah, and this is a delicate situation as well. Kismet right now desperately trying to fight 2 players, waiting for his teammates to be the reinforcements to get in, and Pred wins a massive gunfight against Shotzi to make sure your flank is secured. Now it's all guns forward. You get the rotation P2, you get the first 3 kills, and Riyadh Falcons, they're down by 20 going into the new hill, but they have everything under control.
That's another 3 dead. They know exactly where Optic are spawning. They press forward at the last possible second. Exnid aware of the fact that the flip could be on alongside Celium. Not enough for that second kill, and now an awkward series of spawns. This is going to be a moment for Optic to get in and break. You'll definitely take that, and you will be smiling with the lead now starting to grow.
Yeah, and they're trying to work on that funnel system as well. Hook was the furthest man pushed up. Mercules trying to follow that into place. Everybody sort of filling into that conga line system you got going. More or less swarm, though, around P2, and an interesting spawn from Hook. You got Falcons players everywhere surrounding the hill. They need to break quick.
They're trying to find these kills, but it's not happening. Mercules holding it down with an iron fist. The pistol into the back. A 5 spree on time. The shoulder shimmy. One more for the streaky. No! Hits the wall jump. No kill there, but I'm loving what I'm seeing early. Dashy there, the final few moments on time. Rotation is on. Shotzi there. He gets first. He gets brought down. Riyadh Falcons now once again win the rotation to plane.
Yeah, and they got the left side spawns as well. So this is deja vu all over again. Selim, though, he is pressured out and still wins the gunfight. If there's any main AR that's going to be twisted, he's top of the list, but he's also completely surrounded. He lost the left side spawns. Every one of his teammates falls. Dashy on a 4 spree coming in from old time. And, well, now Shotzi in a credit.
Oh, the ultimate credit's good for 2 here, right? Here comes the first. Wait for the patient play. Textbook Shotzi. That is exactly what we wanted. Oh, boy. Gets himself 3. Pred, the last man left alive for the Falcons. And Optic are starting to figure it out.
And now you want to try to turn the rest of this hill into a blender. Let the gunfights come to you. You stay L-triggered. Merc's there for 2. Shotzi there for the follow-up kills. Everything singing sweet. And what was once a close game, Optic have certainly found their form and blown it open. Dashy at the start of the hill, and Shotzi, well, he's there for the kill. And how about those spawns? Optic ahead of the game.
You're way ahead of it. The funnel now, Mercules, 1 by 1. He nearly kills them all. What unbelievable skill Over to the new hard point we go, and Optic, they've set it up like a fortress, looking to find the win here in map number 1. Kyler Garland finding his kills on the right flank. Shotzzy on a 7 spree as well. He might have just picked up a few more, but no need. It is Big Brucey eating good. They're on time. Next wave of players now for the Falcons, and it has to be Magic.
Yeah, it is not going to be either. This is just going to be a victory lap. You have to cross through the no man's land of hell just to funnel in through a stairwell. Dashy gets L-triggered, and you trade him out, but the battle you have ahead of you, 5 more seconds and the game is over. Maybe good news, the Hellstorm is going to be completely ineffective. Bad news is, again, you have to play beyond perfect Call of Duty.
This is typically what happens. You're going to see a strong resurgence now from the Falcons. When the going has got tough, the tough will get going, but it's not enough. It's 5 seconds for the win now for Optic. A few more seconds over towards Nuhook. Once again, the man of the moment, Mr. Rotation himself. The Pred has sniffed it out. A retreat now for Mercules, trying to guarantee the spawns. They're good. Shotzzy making his way towards time. Exnid now on the race. Can he get himself in there? Hook, the point man, in towards it. 3 dead in the feed, and that is going to be map 1. Ladies and gentlemen, Optic Texas in their first hard point of the 2026 season.
On form, just another day at the office for those lads, and even the little things that on day 1 they're already doing right. You're rotating that final hill. You only need 5 more seconds. Do you want to turtle up in the back of your base, allow the Falcons to get the space on the map? No, you don't. They just layered their map so effectively. Like, you see the 2-piece Preds picking up in the middle of the map. Doesn't make a difference. They're going to spawn over towards the new time anyway, making sure you got to kill the 2 waves, and Optic truly just dialed into the game mode already. Shotzzy was telling us, Miles, that he's got 20% of it figured out. I don't know what that final 80% is going to be, but it is going to be a nightmare. 25 and 22 out of him, but every single player on Optic, as has been tradition, provides.
Everybody doing their thing. Shotzzy and Dashy, the kings of the hill there for the Optic squad. For the Falcons, the other side of the board, a difficult start, of course. No one wants to play the back-to-back world champions in their first match of the league, but a wonderful test indeed. Highlights here, folks, from map number 1. And we got it all. Some good stuff there to start off our Scar hard point. Flanks on flanks, great rotations, lovely spawn awareness. I mean, the same thing for the Falcons as well, but Charles, what's the big difference maker from you here? What really separated the Optic from the Falcons?
Well, I mean, you'd say the team effort, or maybe just Shotzzy having a slow start, where even with the slow start, they just won the first 2 hills and built themselves a massive lead. So by the time Shotzzy sort of catches the flow state, figure things out, he just goes on some massive runs. I think he had maybe 3 different 5 sprees on this map alone, all of them basically coming in the second half, and just those little takeover moments that makes the game so much easier for the rest of your teammates, so much so that Mercules gets to dance with them. I mean, just looking at the mini-map towards the end, so many situations where Optic were just in complete control, and the management of the map couldn't ask for too much more.
A single lead change is all you got, Falcons fans, I'm afraid. Certainly course corrected, but a flat line. The second set of hard points, Optic running it all the way home. Third, we only got to see a single point there, but that is how that cookie crumbled, ladies and gentlemen. Map number 1 in the books. The first win there of the 2026 season. And Optic certainly feeling good about it. I don't think there are too many issues, too many sort of problems they were worried about. Of course, respawn game modes as a squad that have not made a change. The only squad to really not make a change. Certainly going to help them there. Den, Search and Destroy coming up now. And Overload to follow it up. We will see Overload no matter what in every series, folks. And it is going to be fun. Chance, Search and Destroy, Den, rotation heavy. Only one of the lanes doesn't have a sort of sneaky cut. That's the outside castle section. So you have to worry about that long line. What are your thoughts and feels about Den, especially in Search?
I think it's a very fun map, rotation heavy, but in like a largely safe environment, like a lot of, especially on the attack where you're going for the show B early on, wrap back towards A, try to play with the timings, or if you can just take control of the middle of the map, very big access point to both of the bomb sites. And it's also a map where I think you have a lot of different sort of playmaking opportunities. Even like the wall jumping that you can do, this is like an unexplored portion like early on, but even off the map over towards the B site, you can sit there and juggle and be completely hidden from view. I'm not good enough to make any magic happen, but I've seen some like S&D kids pull it off, and I know that's the type of thing that Hook and Shotzzy are going to have dialed in. So I think it's going to be a fun map. It has a lot of breadth to it, and I think even just the fact that we get to see snipers is going to be a fun time. Dashy's absolutely elite with it. I'm excited to see it. I don't know who's going to be using it for the Falcons, if at all. Obviously, a few of them can. Kismet in like the preseason tournament was pulling it out from time to time, but between him or Celium, I think that's you're dancing with the devil. Pick your poison.
Yeah, pick your poison. Everyone in this lobby can put together a good montage. There's no doubt about it. I'm very excited to see what Cell can do with that snipe. High sensitivity player. I'm not sure what the numbers are in this game, but he was in the 10s horizontal at the very least. The verticals are also pretty high up. So that boy can do it. And I'm excited to see what he can do in this game with the rifle. If he's the player to snipe, I mean, that's the question. Anyone on the Falcons roster could feasibly get it done. For Optic, of course, it has been Dashy, tried and true. The man knows his way around a big gun. Let's face it, folks. Back to Piccadilly, BO4, you name it. Brucey putting in the work. Excited to see how Den goes, folks. We're going to get into that in a moment. As far as Den, Chancellor, we've obviously seen quite a decent amount of the off-season games. As you say, rotation heavy. For the new folks at home, what does that mean? Does that mean that we're going to be lots of flanking? Does that mean we're going to be seeing lots of bombs go from different sites, faking things out? Like, how would you describe this in layman's terms?
If your plan A is to attack either bomb site or any given lane, a rotation means you start there and you rotate the bomb somewhere else. You start going towards the right lane, then you rotate through mid, you can rotate back to your spawn. It is just the big movement around the map. I mean, if you play other sort of FPS games and then you compare it to COD, COD is lightning quick with how fast you can be with these types of decisions. So this is even, I mean, we don't do listen-ins and S&D, but the level of communication you have to have in particular moments in this game mode in Call of Duty, it's absolutely electric. You have to be on point. You can never hesitate, and you always have to make sure you're on the same page as a team. And again, for the side of the Falcons, the roster construction that was designed, it's going to be a big talking point for the team. I'm just interested to see who's like the bomb planner for the squad. Because like Kismet typically would be that guy, but if he's the secondary AR, you're going to make that commitment in S&D. They certainly have a puzzle they're going to need to solve, and I think their job is going to be a little bit more difficult, especially compared to a team that is back-to-back and had a lot of experience together.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Coach Clay, hopefully been putting the work in. We know they have. In the off-season, of course, in the run-up to today alone. Major 1, we'll see how everything folds out. But for the time being, again, Den and the Search and Destroy is going to be really interesting. Another man chance who finally, we let the Infinity Stones go across the galaxy, and one of those stones was Cellium. He has been an incredibly impressive player to watch. I mean, truly, truly one of the greatest to do it. Whether you love him or hate him, he really is something, a staple of FaZe success throughout the years. And now on the Falcons, again, a pretty attractive free agent, it had to be said.
And I think a decent amount of pressure on him as well to sort of provide, because if he's been a staple of the FaZe team for years, he's had the longtime duo of Simpin and Beezy that have always been there. And because, like, again, reputationally over the years, there's been times where he's been labeled as a guy that plays for kills, plays for stats a little bit more than the objective. A lot more pressure to be that guy on the team. And on the flip side, Kismet has almost the opposite reputation. He is Mr. Objective. He is Mr. 99. He will be in the hill getting the most time. And when he's at his best, he'll be the main slayer as well. And maybe a dynamic and situation where there's extra pressure on Kismet's back to sort of be the most objective-minded player we've ever seen. But in Call of Duty, the way it's played out is just not feasible. Everybody else is going to have to pick up on that slack.
To round out the last world champion here on the Riyadh Falcons, of course, Pred. I mean, what an explosive year he had with Seattle Surge there on Vanguard. A guy who knows how to pick up the pieces, who knows how to pick up the flak, and absolutely causing damage. Shotzzy once called him the greatest player in the world when your team finds a 3 down. If you kill 3 of the enemy, Pred is going to put himself in the most opportune position to find the next set of kills. A devastating player when he is in form, when he is in flow. Can he find that with the Falcons this season? His second go around with the organization. As the boys now get themselves ready for Den, an exciting roster, and again a huge amount of pressure, strong pieces added to this puzzle to try to help solve it and find some success for one of the newest orgs here in the Call of Duty world. Of course, excellent chance. I mean, we talk about him all day long. I mean, we're talking high skill ceiling game. Black Ops 6 came in, took the world by storm, won fans overnight, an extremely fun POV to watch. But their opponents are no slouches. You're back-to-back world champions, Optic Texas.
Yep, absolutely no complaints, no weaknesses, no known issues. You have everything you want to ask for in a team. And I'd say, like, recently, Hook's probably been my favorite player.
Same.
Anyone that isn't giving Hook the gas just does not understand the level of value he brings for the team. I mean, so much so that, like, when Shotzzy is streaming, like, these preseason tournaments, he mutes out his teammates, and Hook is still the loudest guy in the room at all times. So, absolutely deadly team that is going to be here, and maybe something a little bit extra in this first series because they're playing against Pred. Obviously, interesting storylines that have been intertwined between that player and that organization, and they won a world championship together. That is a brotherhood of sorts when the players talk about it, but make no mistake, their competitors, they're going out for the kill today. And if Falcons are topsy-turvy in any way, shape, or form, Mercules, he wants to take the scalp.
Yeah, as soon as the bell rings, it's on. There is no love lost the second that happens. But very, very exciting again to see our teams back at it. Our two big green teams, Boston. Slight shade, no offense, but come on, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. I'm just doing it. I'm not. It's the start of the year. It's the start of the year. I'm willing to, get it out of the way now. But two of our biggest teams in the league. Very, very excited to see them go up against each other in Den. Hopefully that loads into in a moment. And we'll search and straight if you've just joined us, folks. Optic are 1-0 up over the Riyadh Falcons. And Chance, you talk about Hook. He's probably my favorite player to watch right now as well, especially in Optic. Everyone loves the smooth aim of Dashy or the jumpy, erratic, flashy moments, the shots he brings, or the, oh my God, is he really going to get 3 here? Mercules moments. For me, it's Hook. It really is. When you watch him play, and again, the value it had, whether it's the listenings, the comms, to get the glaze over and done with, I think he's probably the most important player on that team.
Yeah, that's a very good shot for the squad. I mean, just in terms of like in-game leader, the level of energy he brings, the practice room, maybe the most important environment for him, because like Shotzzy, deservedly so, gets the movement gas. But talking to Shotzzy, Hook's the guy that has figured everything out already. Like when we're in these preseason tournaments and we're watching Hook off to the side, this man is permanently locked in, shooting against bots, bouncing off of every single wall you can imaginably think of. And Hook is probably the player right now that knows more about this game than anybody else. Like incredibly well educated in the COD sense. And the guy loves to learn, and he is about that life. So very feverish what he's able to do. And yeah, I mean, listen, anytime you want Hook gas, you just let me know.
Well, I was going to say, anytime I have a very obscure question about a brand new title within the first like two-ish weeks, I will go to Hook for it.
Should be the playtester, 100%. He's like the only one. You don't have to nominate anybody else. Don't pay anybody else to come in there. Give Hook the game for a week. He'll figure it out.
He'll figure it all out. We're trying to figure out what's going on with our Den map number 2, folks, as well. You know what? I'm like, what? We'll just skip the search and just give us Overload, right?
That's okay. We can watch the search. I'll watch the search.
Oh, okay, fine. That's all right. I was quite like the idea of just getting into the new mode for the first time here in the Call of Duty League. Of course, the Monster Tournament, fantastic. And every other pre-game or pre-season match we've seen of Overload has been very, very exciting. But there's something different, when the true bells and whistles are on, when the skins are on, it's a little bit something different. Available in store right now. And also, I do believe, the CDO skins have leaked. You've seen them. They look good. I'm excited to see those when they, for real, when they finally get to drop. I jumped into Merc stream today. He was somehow wearing the FaZe skin. Shout out Joey D. Don't quite know how that happened, but I do think we might be ready to party, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody pack your bags. We're going to Japan. Not really, but the players are. We're going to Den.
Not really. Is it not there?
No, it is, but not everybody. Everyone has to stay at home or wherever they're watching the games from. But our players are going away with the bomb.
Yes, and Shotzzy is going to be the lone defender. He's just playing for contact. He spots it, and he's squaring up for the Chow, and he's got number 3, Mercules, there in support, but it is a 2 versus 3 on the site, and Mercules didn't need any help, and neither did Shotzzy. And Pred in a 1 versus 4, and he is nowhere to be found.
No, not a soul. Pred, watching the flank there, he was the man on the backside of site, and it is not going to happen. Everyone on Optic finds a corner, any corner lays down, and round 1. Now, I would presume we'll go to some lovely cinematic free cam shots that the observers have got lined up for us, while Mercules disrespects his surroundings. Great round there, Chance.
Yeah, and while Hook gets to practice his movement as well, because again, Hook, this is all he does. But yes, if you watch the preseason tournament, the round 1 bug is still in the game, carried over from last year as well. But nonetheless, well-executed strat off the rip. Shotzzy shows himself on the bomb. There's a lot of pressure coming in from the attacking team. He swings over towards outer, easy lane watch for him. And well, for Mercules, that is going to be an easy 2 as well. And nothing more demoralizing than losing a round that quickly and having to spend 50 seconds just staring at a black screen, debating on what you want to do on defense. Not a fun situation to lose that round 1.
No, how was your day? Okay, round 2. Let's get it. Also, plenty of time for the round 1 winners to accumulate some trophy time. Lean forward, lock back in. Round 2. Here we go.
We'll see what Optic want to do on the attack. I assume if they're going to go for a face smash, it is going to be operated at least a little bit differently. But again, a rotation heavy map, and you can already see spreading the map on the attack, showing a lot of pressure over towards A. Xnid might be here to meet it, and that's a great nade, could allow you to get some pressure. And funnily enough, on defense, Falcons did not send a single player towards B.
No, they've sort of with the 2-2 split here, 2 towards A, 2 players in the middle of the map. And Dashy looking to peel somebody off. Any of the... There it is. That's unfortunate timing for Kismet. Xnid's going to push forward here, but again, a bold maneuver. Ook about to get active through the smoke. Catches the outline of a player there, and that's going to be a 4v2. Bruce having a little bit of pressure here, only in the form of gunfire from the Falcons. A B-bomb wide open. Optic walk right on in after the first 2 kills.
Yeah, and Shotzzy's already pushed himself up towards that back patio. They've cleared out all the space. I mean, this is as easy as a 4v2 as it's going to get. Yeah, nice cruddy spot. Easy cookings there, and now it is Xnid's turn in a 1 versus 4.
Slow and steady. You never know until you do, and we now know Optic 2 rounds in a row. Not a problem so far here on Den. First taste of a sniper rifle there from Dashy. You're going to see plenty of that this season. And again, on a map like this, you certainly want to find those opening picks, give you as much space as possible on Den, because then it tells you straight away, we found a kill here. Are they going to reinforce that position? Are they expecting a player, or are they expecting you to push that position? Where can we reallocate resources? So then Falcons down a man on a huge disadvantage on a map like Den.
Yeah, and I think Optic happy for the strat. What do you guys want to do? I don't know. We'll just spread the map, wait for Dashy to get a pick. We'll make decisions from there. All right, cool. Exactly as you write it down. And now Optic triple stacking out in the defensive end. They're trying to run him over. Meanwhile, Dashy has to hold off the entire team. And it's a snipe battle that Kismet gets revenge. Of course, though, the rest of Optic have taken space. They've dealt with the flank. And Falcon's going to be a lot less comfortable in this situation.
Yeah. Optic. We're all going to take the hit through the dojo side of the map. Xnid and Co now on the wrap, trying to find anything. Kismet, the man with a big gun, finds the first. Shotzzy gone. Eliminated from play. Man advantage right now for the Falcons. No bomb planted just yet, though.
Yeah, they are a little bit scared, a little bit paranoid. They don't have quite the same amount of map control that Optic did in the previous round, so they're happy to take their time. 40 seconds is a lot to work with. They know Hook's towards the middle of the map, and they have not had eyes on Mercules in quite some time. A skittish moment for the Falcons.
Yeah, you weren't wrong about being slightly averse to the objective. An allergy test may be required. And Mercules wait on the fight forward. Massive damage to Necelium. Anyone here to push forward for it? Kismet gets tags. An opportunity to trade not found. Kismet alone. The battle against Hook won. And the 1v1, the cleanup is there. And a moment of hesitation will do more than bite the Falcons in the backside.
And, you know, there's a moment of hesitation, and then there's just endless hesitation. Didn't do
the whole round.
Kismet, if he had the bomb rather than a sniper, would have planted that bad boy 30 seconds before when the first attempt was. But that's what I'm saying for the, like, Kismet is just going to have to be Mr. Do-It-All, man. Give him the bomb, give him the snipe, give him an AR, give him a sub. He's going to be the guy running it in overload as well. Godspeed to him.
Give me the ball. We'll get to that. Well, so far, so good. 3 rounds to nothing. No deaths yet for Mercules. And not quite the full box of donuts for the Falcons right now. Let's see if they can't get something healthier into their diet. Kismet's still the man with the sniper rifle. Boomstick still in play. Not tremendously effective for either side. Optic with a 2-2 reshuffle.
You got Pred roaming the middle of the map. Salim's going to be looking over top. Either way, though, I feel like this is a bomb plant that is effectively being given up for free. Optic just waiting for the moment. And maybe Mercules just waiting for that deep pinch to come through. Pred's toying with the idea. But I don't think Pred's ever going to read that depths of a spot. And that is COD timing at its finest in mid.
He's in. A man on a mission now behind enemy lines, and this is going to hurt. Eyes on the first man, the snap towards the second. But Cellium managed to get away with his life into the jaws of the rest of his team. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a Shotzzy moment if ever we've seen one. The trade's complete, though. And now exit from Prone. Able to cause a ton of damage into Hook. The trade's there once again. And Optic, immaculate teamwork, gets them to a 2v1.
And Preb is busy on the opposite side of the map, but he's made it a 1v1. Former teammates going down. He's got the sub, and he's got the timing. Straight in for the kill in instant 1 versus 2. Pred waited for his moment to strike, but he had it dialed in.
Fantastic turnaround. The Falcons are on the board. Shotzzy's shenanigans don't get them quite far enough. COD timing and a brilliant decision made. The FOV's not that big, but he definitely saw Selim there on the left. Feeds it straight into the boys. And Pred's 2v1 though. This is exactly what you wanted. The clock on his side. A high impact moment. And the pressure was certainly on, but you'll take that. 3-1. Optic's still in the lead.
Yeah, tough moment indeed, but happy for that. Now this is activity. I was going to say Shotzzy just full sprinted through mid, right into the clutches of Cellium. That is an easy first blood. Of course, though, Falcons yet to group up together. Still spread the map, looking for a little bit more information before they make their call, and they just instantly scam. We got a 3v3.
Yeah, not a problem whatsoever. He's tagged up. No snipe this round. He's actually handed it over. I do believe it was Cellium there running it. Massive flank now from Pred. He goes unaware, so this is an opening bomb site on A that you're able to get this one down. So force right now for Pred, still finding himself a corner. This is exactly what you want. Optic, not in an ideal spot here. Good luck on the retake.
Into the clutches. There she goes. Dashi taken care of in short order. That is back-to-back rounds where Mercules and Pred are just having an interesting timing battle on the map, but Pred's come out on top of that twice. Mercules maybe the player that's going to have to try to make that adjustment, but as far as it goes, not too shabby out of the Falcons. The scam a little bit scary, but when your team gets the round win, does it even matter?
Interesting. I enjoyed that Hook 1v1 he had. The player on the sort of wall jump, he was ex-nid. The most calm reaction imaginable on the kill. Scams aside, the Falcons find themselves 2 rounds in a row now. Nice 5-speed out of Pred. We're looking at Hellstorm soon. Big Bruce won't find anyone here. The wings of the map covered in Falcons players for now.
It's going to be a B hit, though. I mean, Mercules has just found himself. I mean, he's taking over mid. So you have that under control. You're looking for the bomb site pressure. You do have Pred playing a cruddy angle over towards the B site. So a tricky one on this approach. And Dashi versus Cellium for this line of sight. Cellium's giving him nothing.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, even better from Pred. Kill number 6. The smoke not going to help him nearly enough. Cellium now trying to get into the mix. In the 3v3, here come the remaining members of the Falcons. Try to buy some time, and allow Kismet to get in a position. The quick checks. Another from Cell. Can Kiz get his? Can indeed. Last man, Merc, and he has been mugged. The watch, phone, wallet, and now we're all tied up.
This is huge, and I think that Pred 1v2, maybe the spark that team is going to be looking for just to get on the board. I think Optic were playing better S&D the early rounds, better adjustments, but the tide's certainly shifting. And once again, Pred, one of that sort of focal point players, right? Gets the first blood on Hook, gets the smoke out, and at least stays alive long enough to get Cellium back in the mix. And that's the level of activity that you're excited to see if you're a Riyadh Falcons fan. Even Exit, quick pinch rolling through, not wasting any time in that round.
Yeah, that was a nice sort of turn there. Again, good instincts and great chem from the Falcons early on here in the 2026 season. They know when to hit it together, and they certainly did. Pred. 6 and 3. I wondered, did he get himself that Hellstorm? He didn't. That's so unfortunate. But he gets this. Oh, doesn't! Oh! That's Hook. First blood. Ugh.
He just walked face first, basically the entire team playing credit corners. And yeah, comes out on top. That's Hook for you.
That's Hook for you. Perfect nade there from Celium.
That was Hook for you.
Yeah, it was. Now he's a fragment of the man he once was. Thanks to that nade. Big lineup from Bruce. Great damage. Here comes the immediate hit from Exnid. That is super aggression in the 2v2 now. Mercules, eyes are on.
Well, that's certainly going to connect, or at least back him down. And these are the moments of like sort of hesitation we're talking about. You have to be on point with the play calls. You can't waste any time because as they're going for this rotation, Mercules is already at the site ready to meet him.
And he's there. Oh, the timing a smidge of a second early, but oh, the timing here even better. 1v1. Here comes Shotzi from the other side of the map. Mercules does get himself the Hellstorm. And this is for the lead change. Akismet in an opportunity to cause some serious damage. Will he check left? The answer is maybe. Optic Texas take the lead.
Yeah, that spot ends up paying off, especially with less than 20 seconds on the game clock. Too tough to clear out everything, but another moment where you have the opportunity to either go for the bomb plant, and if you're not comfortable, you have to be so much quicker about making a decision to push through or to go through mid or to play for the fight, whatever you're going to be. Just those few extra seconds where you're deliberating with your teammates, Mercules is just taking that opportunity to wrap back and cover the other side. So it is just Optic right now having quicker conversations on the map than the Riyadh Falcons. Admittedly, though, when they're getting the first bloods, when they're grouped up together, they've still been on point.
Oh, good stuff. Attacking right now for Optic Texas. Lovely bit of work there from Mercules. We'll see if the Hellstorm comes into play. A lot of coverage here on Den. Let's see how we go. The first Hellstorm of the 2026 season that we get to watch. And I'm not sure if it's going to find too many targets all over the A-bomb site. Keep those players trapped on the inside, and Optic will be able to buy as much space as they want. And that's nearly first traded for Shotzi, 3v3.
And they're just going for the A call as well. I mean, everybody was turtled up indoors, so Optic are hoping that the pressure gets alleviated, and they might have called that perfectly. All three Falcons players go out towards mid, expecting the B hit. Nobody's home.
There's the A-bomb plan. Exnid now trying to make his way forward, and he peeks as his eyes poked out. Mercules now forward position, find a corner. Or will he hold that front line? Great big light on the wall there, gives away his shadow, but plenty of shadow spotted out there on a Pred. Oh, we're not going to get the kill. Big work now, all down to Hook. 1v2. He has to play the trade. He's got to stay alive, get an isolated gunfight if he can. 25 seconds. Smoke now. The charge from the Falcons. Will they charge into death, or are they going to charge into glory? And a sneaky Pred on the defuse. Is it going to pay off? Hook on the wrap. He doesn't get it. The bomb defuse. Heads up play from AG.
That is instant on that hop as well, right? These are the types of things you have to be completely on point with, and that is literally a point, like 1 second difference. If Hook is ever so slightly faster, he breaks it down, clutches the 1v2. Pred and Celium did not hesitate. Got the smoke out in the doorway, moved into the site, instant bomb hop, zero fear. That's the type of play call that wins you a round. And I mean, Pred's been good. He's, you know, more or less single-handedly won his team maybe 3 different rounds so far this game.
It even gives me the crown of, hey man, you gotta go do it yourself, but beautiful out there. While Mercules finds an opening blood, Kismet and Exnid, they jump their way to the top window and they find nothing but trouble. So down a man now on the approach towards the A-bomb site. They have to go the long way around, and Optic have read this one. Here comes Shotzi, first man. Great work on the kill there. He takes care of Celium, backs away. Kismet's never going to be able to get this one going. Shotzi, wow, bites off a little bit too much there, taken care of. The 3v2, big advantage right now. The problem for the Falcons, can they get that bomb down? A race across map again, Chance.
And I mean, this is going to be an interesting decision for Falcons to make because, well, I suppose at this point, no matter what bomb site they rotate into, they're going to be matching somebody. You got Mercules, the defender, towards the A site. That's where the pressure is going to be. He's playing it a little bit passive, a little bit in the back, but he's throwing shoulder, just waiting for the intel. But the rest of Optic not quite here in position. The pressure is on Merc.
Yep, pressure is on. Slides out. Here comes the damage. Opportunity for the flanks. Yeah, the angle covered. Hook. He's checking every possible corner. Doesn't check the right one though, but that is going to be it, folks. A diligent retake from Optic Texas. And Hook throws himself as the martyr for the play to allow Mercules to get that defuse. And beautiful stuff. Map point, Optic.
And certainly from Optic, or maybe the experience of playing against them, if you're fighting against one of them, you're fighting against what feels like 5 of them. Never a moment of sort of over-aggression there from Hercules. Waits for his teammates to get back in the mix, even if he's got a guy dead to rights, making the safer call. I mean, this is just efficient work. A lot of team shots rolling through, a lot of assists for the Optic boys. Trying to win this off the back of their teamwork. A round away from doing so.
And where are we going to go? B-bomb site, looks like it. Opening salvo, a couple of nades out. We're going to commit to this one quickly. We have the numbers if we're Optic. If the Falcons, you're hoping for someone to make a mistake. And that will be seeing it. Here comes Hook on the approach. Watch how he takes care of these corners. A beautiful way to attack it. Lovely damage. Second in the boys now trying to find something. Shotzzy still holding the middle of the map. And Hook, he's got so much damage. He's not going to get a kill though. The rest of the boys now showing up as the smoke clears. It is Shotzzy with the first. The bomb site still in full control. Pinch is now on for the Falcons.
And Cellian gives you something extra. I mean, they're fighting a full-on war over by the B site, and the rest of the Falcons just now rotated over. And by the time you do, it's a 1 versus 3. Overwhelming force is going to get Optic this game.
They're going to get them this game, indeed. Where they attacked the B-bomb site, they did not give it up. It was a test. It was a way. It was a weigh-in of Optic versus the Falcons there on the bomb site, and Optic come out as the heavyweight. 2-0 in the series so far.
And you know, they'll be talking over the 1v2 that Pred clutched up inside the site. Decisions about, do we want to play split in the back spawn? Should we group up together? What are we doing in the post plant? But outside of the small conversations, the overarching game plan completely on point there from Optic. And on the flip side for Falcons, a couple signs of life. Kismet having a nice round or two with the sniper. Certainly the plays coming through from Pred on the pinches on point, but just not quite enough firepower in the end. Exnid struggling just a little bit there on that map. Meanwhile, double digits for both Shotzzy and Mercules, as they just got, what, 7 first bloods out of 10. Not too shabby.
Not a problem whatsoever. 6-4 final score there on Den. Staying on Den, folks, as we now play Overload. Going to be very interesting to see how this one goes down. But yeah, plant the bomb. If in doubt, get it down. Help give your boys as many options as possible in the 1vx moments, or even on those 2v2s. Again, great work from Optic there, showing a strong hand on Den. Falcons, a little bit still to be done there in the lab. We'll see how things go for them. Now, though, it is match point. Optic going in Overload, looking strong chance again. The talk of the town in the preseason has been that they are one of the stronger Overload teams for sure. But don't take our word for it. It's back to the desk.
I know a lot about Overload, and I watched this Falcons team win 0 of them.
Oh.
But
there's life.
If there's time to do it, it's right now. We'll see if they can do it in game 3. Before we get to that game 3, let's revisit the first 2. Rosalie, I saw Dashy was leading the way with damage. Who caught your eye, though, in Search and Destroy for game number 2?
It had to be Mercules. I mean, guys, 10 and 4. He's just unbelievable across all game modes. And for the side of Riyadh Falcons, it's just so frustrating to watch, especially the first half of this Search and Destroy. Just so many opportunities where you just see them hesitant. And I look at this team, I see Pred, I see Kismet. I don't see a hesitant roster. I don't see players that make hesitant decisions. And we saw it punish them multiple times versus a team like Optic Texas, where if you give them an inch, they will more often than not take a mile.
Yeah, I thought Optic's more willing to take risks. You're seeing one right here where Hook just like knows they're trying to play slow. Maybe get a pick on a scam, and he takes the angle where he feels like he has an advantage. And Chance and Miles did an excellent job talking about it, just kind of like how slow the Falcons were. There were 2 different offensive pushes where you saw there, you give up a blood, or you're not willing to get the bomb down. Like maybe save your smoke and try to get it down on B in that moment, because what happens is they're so afraid of mid, right? If you don't have mid control and you're stacking over towards B and they have that top mid statue, you can die off that bomb, and that's what they're worried about, right? So freaking out in their head a bit. Optic take advantage of that, and right now it's just coasting for Optic, man. They can do no wrong.
If you guys are wondering, why does that search and destroy look a little different than the one we play? Well, each team gets one smoke, and it looks like they're doing 2 lives with the sniper. We'll dive into that deeper on how the GA compromise worked out to get snipes back into Black Ops 7. What we know for now, though, is this has been a one-sided affair at times in Hardpoint. I was looking at the scoreboard, and we were 50-0 to open up the game on Scar. Then it was 116 to 110 in favor of the Falcons. Is Scar always going to be a map that sees such huge swings in the scoreboard?
Yeah, well, I mean, Optic spawned on what I would consider the good side, right? Because you can get up into P1, you have the smoke above the tank, which is kind of an obstruction to the other team, and then they're just spawning back green the entire time. So I was not surprised that they started up 50-0, and then it became a little bit close. But in the second half of that game, what you saw was Shotzzy's ability to just make plays, just get away with his life. I think it was on Plain Hill where he's laying down in front. He finds a 3-piece to just extend their lead by about 60, 70 points. And those are the moments where, like, the good teams are going to be able to pull away when they can get themselves in those situations.
Yeah, and this is one of those maps where players can get a little bit lost when it comes to breaking some of these money hills. And I think Riyadh Falcons, I mean, if we looked at the back-end numbers and the hold percentages, they were losing a lot of these opening team fights, regardless of how early they got there. There was a couple moments where I could see some growth in Xnet, a lot of rotations, a lot of big wins to give them that advantage. But unfortunately, it's just like you keep letting a player like Shotzzy get up top window and just have the time of his life behind you. And for Riyadh Falcons, got to work on that player counting just a little bit.
Yeah, it just started off, it was on Grandma's Hill where, you know, Shotzzy was up top and he just like dribbles a nade and he was weak. They don't go to challenge him to clean him up. Just the pressure gets applied, right? And now you're spawning all the way out when we go to P5. So Optic, they're just clearly ahead of Falcons as it stands right now. I don't believe that there's a massive talent gap on either side is when you're watching.
I think they played that well for a long period until they lost that P3, that full 60, and it was like, all right, guys, what do we do?
I feel like there's somebody cheating still. It's not Awakening. He's gone. It might be Mercules if he keeps dropping numbers like these. Let's take a look at the young gun. Are you seriously dropping this your second year? Everyone is saying you're the best AR in the game, and he is trying to prove it with the numbers. A 1.73 and 4,600 damage. The man is cooking.
Yeah, and I think what's so cool about it is just like the positions that they put him in. I mean, how many times was he the guy tasked with, like, in that search and destroy? Like, he's alone, wrapping playing information. Like, there is so much trust that they put in this guy, and he just delivers every single time, no matter the game mode nor situation.
Remember we used to be like, who are you taking to win their ones? I'm taking Mercs over every single time.
Toronto, they found something magical and they let it go. Well, he now wears an Optic jersey and he's never taken it off. They need one more map. We'll find out, can Optic seal the deal as we send it over to Miles and Chance.
We're back, and it's finally time to play Overload, Chance. Finally. Been warming up. I did a jumping jack in the break to get myself ready for this one. Staying on Den, though, so maybe not as electrifying as Exposure has looked so far. For me, I think it might be the one, but we'll see how we go. See how we go here on a little bit of Denny Den.
I see you've never seen the B trains rolling through. You can run the score up on this. You can make some magical things happen. It can be, a high octane match. It is going to be interesting, though. I think the way we're playing Overload now compared to the end of the year, I think this is going to be a game mode that has a ton of like evolvement to it. Early on, it might be the most dynamic one we have, and therefore like the highest skill difference between like different teams. There's going to be some teams in CDL that suck at this game mode, at least early on. Like, it's a learning experience for everybody. We already know that Optic set the tone early on, especially on a map like this, that they're ahead of the game. This, to me, is just a test to see where the Falcons are going to be, how well they can compete, what kind of ideas can they bring to the table, and maybe fight back. I just want to hear a listen-in. So I don't know if we have to do that in the hard points, but Falcons, I'm very excited to watch this map for sure.
I am very excited to watch the Falcons play this. I'm also excited to hear what the Falcons call the EMP device. You at home might have your name for it: the rock, the ball, the device, the drone, you name it. I'm going to go with EMP and ball when things get really litty, chat. But Overload, a brand new mode here in the Call of Duty world. Thanks to the lovely folks at Treyarch for putting this one together. New year, new mode. Same us, though. Same us. You don't get extra points for dunks or anything fancy like that. You have to run it home to score. First team to 8 will win. If you reach the 4-point mark, we do swap sides. It forces halftime. So quite frankly, as you said, Chance, there will be some teams that just, and I quote, suck at it. they're going to get knocked out real bad, real quick.
And it's even for a map like this, where like if you're spawning on the right side of the map, attacking towards the left, the B zone is going to be the preferred point. What feels like now, 90% of the time. But by the time we get to the end of the year, as things develop, like there's going to be teams that might just not be good at that type of like play style, that type of setup to like run the point home, or maybe guys can actually figure out how to utilize, you know, there is a set rotation for where the EMPs are going to be spawning in. Starts in the middle of the map, goes to the top side, your third spawn goes to the bottom, and then it resets. It is calculable, it is knowable. So if you're a team, you're going to have set design plays for any given EMP spawn about what direction you want to go. Instant wraps, you want to go through the middle of the map, you capitalize the space and just run it forward. These are the types of things that are like extremely difficult to figure out on the fly. Again, everybody's still learning the game mode, but like for that S&D we saw from the Falcons, if they're hesitating in S&D on a map that like most people seem to have like the vibe of the understanding of, I think to me that strikes fear of what's going to happen in Overload unless you get the ball rolling. If you get a pop-out performance, if you get that 3 dead and Pred just gets to go and be in form, they're going to find success. But I think it's a very tough task.
I think we're going to see a lot of teams, I think with Den in particular, fight for the drone mid-map, or for the ball, sorry, I'll start doing it. I know, it's happening. I'll fight for the ball, fight for the EMP mid-map, and then run it topside straight away. Go for that top lane score immediately, maintain control of that, because then you have the next spawn up. And this is a map that doesn't have a cut. It doesn't have a way to get to that without taking a full wrap from your spawn all the way to that long lane. So I think this is going to be a 2-0 lead sort of situation where as long as the team maintains control, 2 off the bat right away, and then they have to fall to the bottom side of the map to the sort of computers wall jump area. But that is going to be that. So we'll see how that goes, folks. A slight issue getting into map number 3, but we're going to be throwing absolute magic in this game. I'm stoked to see how Overload plays out, and to your point, what it looks like at Major 1, what it looks like at Major 2. And again, the very first time we are seeing this played with the new overtime rules, which is again at the end of the first round, at the end of the round at halftime, you're able to make something happen with 30 seconds if a player is holding onto the device. And again, if you're carrying the device, pistols only. So a significant portion of firepower has been eliminated from the objective player. We'll see how it plays out. It might be changing in the future. Yeah, never know. Treyarch are very, very responsive, and I know you're watching, friends. I know you're watching, and we're as interested as you guys are to see how this one plays out. But Overload, very, very interested to see how this goes. If we do go to overtime, 4 lives either side. Good luck, have fun. And it is fun.
Yeah, the overtime rule is very interesting because, like, you know, if you're in a situation where you have the opportunity to score very quickly, congratulations, you win, you score, you get the dub. But if not, it sort of plays just like a TDM. But then the guy that's like holding the EMP device is getting like pinged. The other team can see him. And I think for the overtime situation, it's going to be maybe sometimes intense, but my expectation, the pace is gonna slow down dramatically. Everybody's scared to die. You can't be that guy that gets first blooded, and it can be difficult to work around the map. So much so that I don't know how much the pros have developed it, but if you end up in a situation where you are knowing you're expecting to go into overtime, you probably want Ninja on a class, because if you don't have that when the overtime pops, you're going to be absolutely terrified to move. So just a very sort of curveball added layer of, hey man, the teamwork needs to be on point. The communication always has to be there, and any scam would be absolutely dire if a player throws away their life. So Modi, you have to be very calculated, very on point, basically from start to finish.
Chance, how would you translate scam to folks at home who maybe don't live and breathe Call of Duty culture?
A scam is when you do something stupid, I think would be the easiest way to say it. If you're just in a positive situation on the map where there's no need to be aggressive, to go for some degree of pressure, and you make an over-aggressive play that gets you killed, that would be a scam.
Hold my beer. Hold my monster.
If we're at a 4v3 Miles and the first thing you do is says, hold up, I'm going to make a play, and you run through mid and get caught, that would be a scam. Same thing we saw in the S&D. You had a 4v3 for the Riyadh Falcons. X-Nindy's trying to do the wall jump stuff to like cross over the side. He either messes up the movement or just isn't prepared for Hook, and that's throwing away your life. There's nobody there for the trades. That would be a scam.
There we go, folks.
Or if you get a call from a number that you don't have caller ID for, that's also probably a scam.
probably a scam, and they're asking very, very important questions about your socials or mother's maiden names, all that sort of stuff. It's ready to get an overload, folks. Watch out for the scams. They'll get you, though. They're spear phishing when they know it's you. Oh, it's the one you really got to watch out for. We'll see how things go as we load into overload. Here on Den, once again, I'm expecting 2-0 lead to the team who gets that first one down. After that, we've got to go 2-1. I'm not sure if we're going to see a team that dominant in the mode so far to get the fast halftime swap at 4, and then of course 8, the final score. We can see a map finish pretty quick. We do have a slight delay, I suppose. The EMP, once it is reset, it has to sort of respawn. It doesn't just reappear immediately, allowing an immediate relay. You've got to hold that position before it unlocks, and you can make a run. So there is a technicality on how long the game could be. We might figure it out by the time the end of the year rolls by.
Well, yeah, this is like an extra layer of like how dynamic the game mode is going to be, in the sense that Hardpoint at the start is just a foot race to learn as much as you possibly can. Every single time a player spawns up, they're solving a puzzle. Where are you putting your stun? Where are you putting your nade? What route are you going to take? What do you need to do in any given situation? By the end of the year, these players have it absolutely dialed in. But also in Hardpoint, you're mostly doing everything as fast as you possibly can. Why would you waste any time? Always go for that good position. Overload is going to force you to play at different speeds. Like if you're a squad that likes to be a little bit more patient, a little bit more controlled, make sure you have a sizable advantage before you like try to make a pure play with the EMP device. That's all well and good. If you're in the early game, you got 3 minutes on the game clock. If you're down 3 scores and there's only like 2 minutes left, you got to get the ball moving. Like you just have to go so much faster than you might be prepared for. So different speeds are required in this game. Fun to watch, and I would say right now Optic likely on the preferred side, but only towards that B zone. We still have so much to learn.
Game on. Shotzzy's flank pays off. Continues to be a difficult thing to deal with. Oh, we're going down low, ladies and gents. EMP on the move. Hook's going to be our first man here. Great defensive setup now from the Falcons. They are playing this one as close as possible to the goal line. First kill in, Hook gets the trade, sweet. Mercury's not enough damage to get the kills, and the remaining members of the Falcons now pull forward. Wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen. An opportunity for a wrap towards the A goal, maybe. As we've cut our way through, Merc with a pistol, no good. Pred's now on a run.
Yeah, and he's going to get chased very quickly, though, by Shotzzy, and yeah, Dashley be there for the cleanup kill. And this is the type of moment for Optic. What do you want to do? Try to force it through the A zone? That normally feels like a nightmare, but now you got the lead blocker, Shotzzy, the front man on the line, and even still, they want to go towards B. This is the type of decision. We get to see how it pays off, but the B side generally preferred. They're going to take their time to make it happen.
Great nades, either side. No one able to make too much happen here just yet. The A side of the map, that left-hand side courtyard, is a difficult space to cross. A lot of coverless opportunities to fly forward. The B zone, a little bit easier to defend right now. Again, is this going to be one of the good side, bad side maps we see develop? Shotzzy's flank. Quick reset there from the overload device, and once again we're making a run, trying to find the kills. Openers here for Merc, great damage. Exit up close, trades are good, no lineup, no good whatsoever. Falcons, quick recovery and fight forward.
Yeah, and what, 2 players going towards the middle of the map. The Falcons pumping the brakes, taking their time, couple trades rolling through, but that's a delicate moment. Now the device is going to be down in your spawn. Number 2, Shotzzy picks it up and tries to just hightail it away. And now for the Falcons, you want to pick it up, you try to let it reset. You've at least stabilized your spawn. And if nobody's touching it, they want it to reset on the map and play 50-50, or they're figuring out what they want to do on the fly. In the meantime, Kismet in the middle of the map falls.
The opportunity now for the Falcons to get that drone forward, get the ball forward rather. Line up, oh. Great damage, not enough for anything here. Good wall jump as well. And an avenue now to play towards the A side of Optic's goal. Here we go. All the spawners are there for Optic Texas. Finding these kills, absolutely crucial. Next wave is in. Good nade out of Exnid. 1 man left there for the goal, and it's going to be Dashy. Spawns are still good. Cellian recovered, down and out. No one able to make anything happen here so far.
Yeah, meanwhile, Shotzzy's running worlds. He is 11-1 on a 6 spree, and finally the dam has broken. That's enough for the cap. We got standing inside of your spawn, so now the players are spawning towards the top, but for the Falcons, that's actually where you want to be. Of course, though, you're in a pinch. feels like a nightmare. Exney gives you the first blood, and now you got coverage out towards B. Number 3 is there for the cuts. Number 7's behind you. This is where things get chaotic.
You got to win that fight, and you don't. Mercules doesn't take any damage, so it's close enough to Optic's goal, but that's going to be a recovery now. 1-0 lead, minute 35 in the first half. Towards the B zone we now go. Shotzzy trying to get in position early, trying to catch these players out, but again, Falcons like to defend it from deep. Exney there on the close left. All first man down, able to get a trade. Mercules still with a nade to go with. Pred down the close left, a team nade, and that should be good for the second. Gets it through, and Optic starting to get it going.
Yeah, Cellium just got his second kill of the map. Unfortunately, on your teammate is not what you want to have happen. And if there was a heat map of what has been taking place, Shotzzy has literally just been living behind him. There's a free 1, tries to earn the second. Actually, no, he gets the free 2, does enough damage on the 3rd, and now Dashy gets to be the lead blocker.
Once again, we're stacking towards this B goal. Fantastic nade work there from Kismet and Exney. Again, it is a kill box. A classic setup. They just have to win these gunfights. Opportunity to grab this one out. Optic pump the brakes right away. We've not necessarily parked the bus, but we're going to hold on to the middle map presence we've got. And Hook somehow finding himself a couple of good ones here. This is unreal work. Cellium doing a nice bit of work there with the kill front. Dashy with huge damage, able to get this next player, and you've got an opportunity to make a run for gold. 20 seconds to go. Could we see a third?
Well, he's got the device, and he's got one of the best pistol shots in the league. This is what you want to have happen, but with 13 seconds, it would be miraculous if they pulled it off, and even Kismet gives you that first blood. Yeah, you cannot force this one through. It's Optic happy for their 2-0 lead.
They're holding them down on this side of the map, and Dashy, it's good work again. Here comes the overtime. 30 seconds. It's sort of a shot clock. Yeah, as long as it's in play, as long as it's in play, overtime will run. He's got 30 seconds to make it happen, but unfortunately, he gets killed there, and the round will end. We are swapping sides. They're going into the second half again. Optic willing to take risks, willing to make stuff happen, and the man who's making it all happen right now, 18-6, Shotzzy, getting lost all over the map, allowing his boys to really get things going. And again, Charles, I feel like it might be a Den specific sort of feeling. I think you talked about this previously. Every Overload map is going to have a really different vibe, and we're seeing a little bit of that Den one here where it's really rotation heavy.
Yes, it's also like pre-patch, post-patch. With the amount of kills Optic was just getting, I think pre-patch, they get their 4 points very early on. I mean, Shotzzy's 18-6. He was quadruple positive at some point, but just now that the device carrier has a pistol rather than like the whatever primary weapon, specifically getting that B zone cap seemed way more difficult.
Yeah, it's proven more challenging. Well, nice start here from the Falcons. And the pistol there of Cellium helping buy some space through the middle of the map. Optic now on the back foot, and they're flying towards B. And so is the ball. Here we go. EMP on the way. Pred up close and personal near the M15. Gets himself one. Can he catch another on a Shotzzy? Good damage. Or to a former teammate. The wall hops are getting dicey. Wins the fight. The next line of defense for Optic is the goal line.
Waiting for Kismet on the pinch. Mercules and Shotzzy gonna have that covered. Everybody else, it's guns forward. But Kismet's gonna be forced to make a play in this moment. They got the setup though. He couldn't get one. He gets baited into death, and Cellium knows run for the hills, or you stand your ground and die right there. Optic have secured the device in 4 minutes, and if you got a 2-0 lead, they're not gonna be in a massive hurry.
Let's see how effective they can be on the attack from this side of the map. And so far, through the bottom line, towards the A goal, we're trying to make something happen here on the Cellium. He played defense well. Damn indeed. Damn indeed. Gets himself one and gets away with his life, but the ball is still moving. EMP now on the way to B. Shotzzy makes the call. It's clear, mate. No, Kiz through middle. Catches it out, and Pred. Good spidey senses, more than tingling. Once again, Falcons, control of the ball, control of the map.
And they're running this through the top side of the map as well. So this is a little bit of a rare situation to see in this moment, and they're losing every gunfight. And the reason it's rare, you're going to find out, is because you lose immediately. That's why if you're on the right side, they wrap it out towards the bottom or middle side of the map. Because if not, well, Shotzzy gets to detonate.
And now we got topside spawn once again. Mercury's catching Exnid in a really unfortunate moment. A couple of big kills on the players on spawn. That's going to be another goal. It's going to be 4-0. It's going to be 4-0 indeed. But now to the bottom side of the map, where the Falcons fortunately get the spawn. So Optic have to play for this. They've got to give up the power position and all the control they had. But wait! Mercury's an investment on an open side of the map. Can it race its way towards the B goal? Optic are in position for that one as well. And we might be looking at a very, very big turnaround here, Chance.
Yeah, now 2.5 minutes. The cruise missile are going to do fantastic work there for Mercules, and you just get the rock. You can do whatever you want with it, and there's no hesitation. You pick it up and you rotate it towards the top side of the map. This is exactly where Optic want to be. You get Mercules here for the cutoff kills. Great information. He might get traded, but you got the pressure on with 4 lead in 2 minutes. This game is very close to already being over.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 minutes to go. We're going to see the Falcons go absolutely crazy. Dashi's dropped the device, so now a couple of trades either side. Falcons with the numbers, Mercury's keeping this one out of play. If it resets, it goes to the bottom side of the map. That's what Pred is playing for right now. Can they keep the reset play alive? Oh no, it's hit the fan, boys and girls. Will it be 5-0? Celium stops it. Close enough into play. Mid-map now, starting to find something here for the Falcons. Can they get this drone ball thing out of play?
Well, they're trying to set up for it. They just got 3 out of the 4 kills they needed, but they're running top side of the map. And again, if you're attacking from right to left, going towards A, it is nightmare level difficulty.
Exnid still playing it as well as he can. No point in throwing yourself off the map. It will reappear where your feet left the ground. Pred down, middle of the map now. Trying to make something happen. Optic Texas reading the push perfectly. Lovely shots from Exnid, not able to get the second man, and no teammates in position to really capitalize. Celium now trying to slow this one down. Pred through the middle gets his. An opportunity for a pinch. Can Optic go big? Wait. Pred doing great work now. Numbers are up now for the Falcons. An opportunity to backpedal towards B. Grab the EMP. Kiz head down. We're on the board with 50 to go.
Hey, they got their one. That's all you need. Of course, though, it takes 10 seconds for that EMP device to respawn on the map, so they're going to have to, teleport. They're going to have to fly or make some magic happen. I think right now, we're just going to be playing for kills.
We're playing for kills. Well, there will be an opportunity for a sort of shot clock 30-second moment at the end of the round if the Falcons are holding it. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, the first half was so strong for Optic. Shotzzy once again, 31 and 15. The man is looking mean on the mode so far. And Optic Texas, most of the punditry correct. What a fantastic way to start off the 2026 season. Going up against the Riyadh Falcons and a clean and dominant 3-0.
Yeah, and we got to see the chain effect as well on that map. If you're on the right side on Den, and the middle ball spawn is like the current one that's active, they had it on the top side of the map. They didn't try to rotate it. They try to force it towards A. They lose the point immediately, and because the previous EMP spawn was in mid, the next one just spawns up top, and it just set Optic up for an instant chain, back-to-back scores. They already had the 2-0 lead. And that's pretty much going to be all she wrote. But those types of decisions on maps, like having to know where the next EMP device is going to spawn, is the other team going to be set up in position there first? So many things you have to